Hey guys, welcome back. Hope you had a good day in the market. It's May 4th, 14th, Thursday. We're going to review 0-day options and the small account challenge on SPY. Another kind of grind up day. I was kind of expecting it, honestly. Similar as yesterday, not as big of a range. But we're at all-time highs. We're above 5-day moving average. Yesterday we broke the bearish control here of blue and found it as support. So yeah, everything looks bullish for just a melt up. This is Eric's chart. He's SPY day trading on YouTube. His Discord's in the description as well. Yeah. So it's tough to trade these days. It's tough. It's like so easy in hindsight, but days when it's just a low volume grind up, it's just difficult. Let's see. I started off here with gold for my precision buying. I was looking for the bullish controlled selling. Got a little bit of action right here from it, and then I actually had it adjusted. It was steeper. It was like more like this, and so that actually broke it right there. Those candles, which will explain my first trade at 10:01 right here on this candle. It was actually kind of an anticipatory, which I did one of those yesterday or the day before. I don't usually, but I'm starting to a little bit. Just trying to move my entry as close to the stop as I can, and if it doesn't make it all the way to the stop, like here, say, then I can just jump in and anticipate it, and if it doesn't work out, close it at the resistance. That was my thought here. My line was just a little bit off. I had it, like I said, like right here. So this looked like it was resisting it, this candle. And so I was out on this candle, 10:03. That was $1.13 to $1.07. These were 640 or 746 strike right here. So trying to just get it into the money. Yeah, high of day or top of red would be my target. So I had that from this resistance right here. Then it kind of reconfirmed it right here. So that's what I was looking for. Did this thing, and then I kind of adjusted my chart a little bit with this based on this resistance and this one, and then saw how that lined up with that support. So I thought I was just probably off a little bit, which is why I then adjusted it. Looking for cup to close, but I can jump in before that for sure, especially with this nice inverse head that's set up here to grab this shoulder liquidity. So next trade was at 10:13. So on this candle, so broke that gray. I was a little unsure. I figured it was somewhere in this area. I thought this probably is it, but it's still early price action. So it broke that, and then it retested, and I got one contract here, and then I got two more actually. So I got one at 121, so it's kind of green. It's pretty high up there. And then as it kind of retested a little bit, I was like, all right, I'm just gonna get a couple more because I had some confidence. The price action to that point though wasn't all that good looking. It's pretty grindy. Did have this little inverse head, but it's just low volume grind. So anyways, I had enough confidence, I guess, to get two more here and just kind of use gray for my support. Kind of gold too. Well, no, yeah, gold would have been down there still because that wick. So yeah, scaled in. I had 3 at that point, and it was just so slow, such low volume grind up, very difficult to hold. Even though, like, yeah, hindsight now, it's nice, it's all green, there's not even any red, but these candles are very low, slow volume, slow candles. Some flip red, and it's like in such a tight range. It's just I'm not really looking at my P&L, but I know it's just a grinder. So I didn't hold all of these as long as I would have liked, of course. Sold the first one though, held it pretty long till 10:17. I was able to hold till this candle. Just squeaked it out. It went quite red, and I was like, oh shoot, I missed the top because of cup close. Maybe it wants to come back down and retest for a handle, and I just held just long enough. It came back up, and I closed it like right here. So closed one right there, 2 left. They had another candle that broke through, which is beautiful. Closed one more here on 1019. It's starting to wick and look a little weak, but again, just very slow price action. Mounts for $1.35. And had one more. I literally closed right here on this just solid candle. I didn't want to wait all the way till red at that point, so I'm like, well, it could be off a little bit. You know, it could be a little more shallow. And so I took it. There's only 3 contracts. I kind of have a. It's not a hard rule, but I'm waiting until I have basically 4 to have a more of a runner. In this case, it was a pretty grindy day, and if it comes down to retests, I've got gray here. I'm pretty confident at that point. Oh, that is Explosions in the Sky. Pretty sick band. Yeah, so I wasn't able to hold that last one. Looking for a retest potentially down here. At least liquidity being built on gray, which I forgot how confident I was with gray later. It's too bad. So came down, and like I said, this was my profit target up here. I'll from back here when I entered, and it just grinded up. I put gold back in here. Could have just chased it, but nah, that's not a good habit. And I did put gray back up there, but this wasn't really structure that I wasn't like, okay, yeah, I'll take it on that break. Of course, in hindsight, it looks good, but no, this doesn't look good to me, so I didn't take that. It just grinded up and perfectly hit that, and from here to there was like ended up like 2 something. So it would have been over 100%. And that's a few points. So need to be able to hold runners longer to really capitalize. Otherwise, it's like my account is just chopping up down P&L. Unless if I scale up, but then problem is if I'm just barely profitable, the scaling up is just sketchy. Because if I'm trying to time my scale up, if I get it wrong, then it's just drawdown. So I think better than just thinking I need to scale up on everything. And that being said, I did scale here. Like I added into 3, which is good. IV is lower now, and price action is much more smooth, so it's easier to stomach larger positioning. But I think execution on exiting will probably help with confidence as well as P&L, more so than just thinking about scaling. So maybe combined with a little bit of scaling, so I actually have stamina to hold a runner. Yeah. So that was kind of a bummer. It went up without me, but I was happy I had 3 there at least. Next entry was at 11:20, so waited an hour. 11:20. Okay, so this one was on a break of this red. To me, this red was the tapering, I guess, buying. So if it breaks that into a steeper gold, which is what this looked like to me, as well as that increased volume right here when it was going on. I broke it and kind of retested, and I got the beginning of this one. At 11:20, I got 1 call. Bought another one at 11:21, and I retested here. And then sold them both at 11:22 right here. So I was out of it quick once it broke back in. That was, let's see, 46 cents, 48 cents were the buys, and then the sells were 45. So tiny loss on that one, not bad. I don't know if it's a false break or my charting just a little bit off or what, but yeah. I put another one up here. Next trade wasn't for a while then. Just trying to sit on my hands. I was up pretty good. I mean, for the small account, it was, I don't know, I was up like 40 bucks or something, which it's a nice little profit target for this small of an account. And it's above my average for the day. So my average on Thursdays is negative $37. So anything above that, and I'm better than my average, which is what I'm shooting for. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm better than that at least. Next trade was at 145. A very slow grindy day. Yeah, I guess, I mean, on this break, but this is hindsight. Like, this really isn't, like, you have a head and a shoulder. As you see, I'm trying to chart and trying to figure out what's going on up here. It's very just grindy. So maybe it's this purple now. It's another tapering. the red, my final red, but that I didn't trust a whole lot from here. It was just like, yeah. So let's see what I say, 145. So, okay, yeah. So all this action. And then it came up and broke. Let's see, what did I thought I got one right there, 145. Call. Okay, yeah, so it came up, broke gray. I was pretty slow on it. I was actually doing something else, and I was like, well, the grade was pretty good, and this looks like a nice inverse head and shoulder. And the way it's kind of holding support here, I'm like, all right. So I got one on the beginning of this candle. This is kind of the drawback of not looking at your P&L, because sometimes it's like in midday when it's just not a great time to trade anyways. Just like maybe just take profits and just trade that P&L a little bit, because you know it's probably not gonna make a big move and whatever. So I got this, and of course, since this was somewhat in my head of this just grind up and melt up, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna hold this thing. I put an alert for high of day. I'm like, I'll sell it there, and then my stop on it, I put purple for a stop, and then I also put a horizontal level right here, like this little liquidity right here. So it rallies up, and this thing actually went up like 20 or 30%. I glanced at it later. I'm like, what in the world? I should have just sold it. Because that was like basically half my profit on the day. I could have just increased just from these couple candles. Let's see, what was it? 73 cents I bought it for. It went up to like 92, I think. Or no, 95. And I just hold through this. I'm just trying not to pay attention to it because I'm like, I'll just stick with my stops, you know, hoping it does this. Let's see, had it already? I don't know if it had hit the top of the Bollinger on the daily, because we did actually hit it today. I guess that would have already hit. I guess it probably hit right here. Shoot. Yeah. If I looked at the daily and was paying a little closer attention there, that might have helped. Because if I had seen they already hit their target, maybe I had a little less angst to go north on the chart and not hold for that and take profit. It was only one contract, but yeah, anyways, 73 cents. I closed it out at 2 o'clock on the dot right here. Yeah, I waited for that whole candle to close because I was kind of waiting for that to be the stop too. And I closed it like at the beginning of this candle too. So 73 cents is 62. So at that point, I already given back about half my profits probably. And then that one just gave back a half of the half. So I was like, oh my gosh. And part of the thing actually with this one is my strike. I picked a closer to the money strike. I picked a 748. So the movement on it was much more aggressive. The 749s were like 30 something cents. And this little move probably would have only done, I don't know, 2 or 3 cents. But since I picked 748, that's why this would have been a nice one to just take profit right here. Because it moved from whatever, what was it? It moved from 73 cents up to 95. So since it was in, and normally this time of day I feel like I'm getting one further strike where it's a little cheaper, delta's lower. So for this little move, it's like not really worth it to take profit necessarily, but also the losses aren't going to be as great if it's kind of grinding around. It's going to kind of hold its value. So something to consider when I open to, you know, if I do want to get closer to the money or even in the money, I need to just probably be more aggressive on taking profits and kind of glancing at the P&L and seeing, okay, well, this is an average move for me. This is really all I needed. 747, 69, 748. Yeah, that's half a point also. So, yeah, again, if it was next strike up out of the money, I would have been, I could have done a break-even stop. Again, I had the reason to hold because of just the grind day, but in the top of the daily Bollinger, they hit their target. Made sense they were just going to grind the rest of the day. So that trade kind of stung just because I was up and then it just gave back so much. And it wasn't up that much, and I don't know. I could have at least done a break even, but break evens always get stopped out on me. So really just taking profits. Glance at the P&L and just saying, yeah, not being greedy for a huge move, I guess. And if I am, then I do actually need to break even and just let it stop me out. If it's not going to just grind up like this. Like this one, if I had... yeah. Well, that one didn't make sense for me to hold, honestly. Because the drawdown could have been quite large. So next trade was at, that was the red trade, unfortunately. Next trade was at 216. Yeah, this was a dumb trade. So inverse head and shoulder, and then I'm starting to chart all sorts of stuff. Like, I'm assuming we're in some kind of wedge, but I'm kind of trying to at least sort it out. That's what I had. So it broke this gray, broke this other one I just drew, which I don't know if that was one or not, but I was looking for this inverse head and shoulder again, and just lacked continuation completely. This thing went up. I got it, what, 216, so on this candle, and I closed it on this candle, but it was 78 cents to 63 cents. It's a huge loss. Oh, this one was in the money too. That's another one. That's why that loss actually what really sucked. This one, yeah, this one just sucks so bad because it was like, I bought it here, I think, yeah, and then it literally on this candle seems like nothing, but it was 78 cents to 63, and that's just because it was in the money at that point, basically. And one like that, if I would have gotten one strike further, it wouldn't have hardly decayed at all. So gave back over a majority of my profits, unfortunately, with those trades. Yeah, didn't trade anything the rest of the day, thankfully. Did my workout and killed my legs, and there was nothing to trade there. It was a grind anyways, so here they are. Yeah, so the one good trade was right here. I clipped its wings a bit and didn't catch the majority. I just got this bit, which I'm fine with. I wasn't super confident in this price action this morning, so I'm happy I did end up getting 3 at least. I suppose if I had 4, I could have held 1 for a runner to this, which literally would have been it, which would have been sick, but we're getting there. We're getting there, I think. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments. So Green Day, happy about that. Beating my average. There it is, 17. Let's see. It doesn't quite make up for yesterday's red, which sucks because today I doubled yesterday's red earlier and gave back too much. I kind of have like a soft rule too. I don't know exactly what my high was, but once I've given back half the profits to stop, and that's kind of where I'm at right now on today. So anyways, tomorrow, it's unfortunate. I just feel like it's going to be such a grind. We've hit the top of the daily Bollinger, depending on where we open, but we've got 5-day, like maybe we'll retest it. I just feel like it's going to be just a tight range grind day. So got to figure out some rules. Sub up, like up, comment down, at Money 6 Round. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace out.